Okay, so we've talked about metrics a little bit with length. The meter, the centimeter, the kilometer, that kind of stuff. Today we're going to talk about what they are for mass and capacity. Mass is essentially the weight of something. Capacity is how much something can hold. So we'll talk about the difference between those two a little bit here today, and what that actually means. Again, we're not converting anything today, we're just learning some of the units and what they're called. So the first one's a milligram, which is really just like a grain of salt. It's so tiny. It's really just 1 grain of salt, which is 100 thousandths of an ounce. Just a gram, it would be like a small paper clip, and it's about 4/100ths of an ounce. And then a kilogram is about 6 medium apples. It's about 2 pounds. So to kind of give you an idea there of how those compare, a kilogram is about 2 pounds. So go make sure you copy that table down, please. You have those in your notes, just in case you haven't talked about these ones before. And so now the first example says, write the metric unit of mass that you would use to measure each of the following. Then they want us to estimate what that mass would be. So for a sheet of notebook paper, we want to determine what we'll be using: a milligram, a gram, or a kilogram. Kilogram, way too big. This is not compared to apples. But we're really asking ourselves, would a sheet of notebook paper compare to a grain of salt, or would it compare to a paper clip? I would say a sheet of notebook paper would compare more to a paper clip, and so it's going to be more. It's going to be along the lines of a gram, not necessarily a kilogram or milligram. In the bag of potatoes and apples are pretty close, so we can compare that to kilograms. So if we look at this, the first one for the notebook paper is gram, and the estimate would be about 6 grams. Now I'm not going to worry about too much if you're getting that close or not, but just so you can kind of say, okay, sheet of notebook paper compared to how many paper clips. In a bag of potatoes, you probably get 5-6 pounds of potatoes in there, so you would say 2 or 3 kilograms. So then capacity is a milliliter and a liter. So the difference here would be weight is the mass. Capacity is, I'm dealing with a liter of pop. How much can I put inside that liter bottle? So a milliliter would be like an eyedropper. And 1 milliliter is about 0.03 or 3/100ths of a fluid ounce. And then a liter would be a small pitcher, or if you think about half of a 2 liter, or like they sell 1 liter bottles at the convenience store. And it's about 1 quart. Again, not exactly, but it's about 1 quart. So milliliter and a liter. We have a similar example here. They want us to tell what unit of capacity we would use and then estimate the capacity. So a small water cooler. You're not going to use an eyedropper to fill a cooler of any kind. So whether it's small or large water cooler, we're not going to use an eyedropper to fill that. We'd want to use some kind of a bigger pitcher. And so that one, we're going to use the liter. And about how many do you think that might be? 12 liters might be a good one. Really with that one, you don't know the dimensions of a small water cooler, so it's hard to say. But just don't go guessing 50 liters or something like that. Anywhere 15 and under I think is reasonable. A glass of juice then. So you might not want to fill a glass of juice with an eyedropper, but a glass of juice is much smaller than a liter of pop or something. So for that one, I would probably say a milliliter is a better choice there. And I'd probably say about 250, so you're probably looking at a quarter of a liter. But not quite, it's easier to say 250 milliliters rather than 1/4 of a liter. Alright, so the table here shows the average mass of several human organs. Is the combined mass of the lungs more or less than 1 kilogram? So I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute. I would like you to copy down that table, please. So take a second, copy that down. And if I move on before you're ready, you always know you can stop the video and pause it and copy it before we move on. So this is talking in grams. So they want the combined mass of the lungs. Well, the right lung and the left lung is 580 plus 510. When I add those together, I get 1,090 grams. Well, that kilo means 1,000. Now, we haven't really worked on conversions yet with these. That's going to be in the next chapter, or in the next section, excuse me, not the next chapter, the next section. But a kilogram is 1,000 grams. So what they're really asking us here is the combined here more or less than 1,000 grams? What's more than 1,000? So we would say this is more than 1 kilogram. Because this would actually be 1.09 kilograms. And again, that conversion, we'll work on that in the next section. I'm just worried right now, know that there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. And that's all she wrote. We have 10 through 28 all for the homework. So we're working on that tomorrow in class. And we will also kind of discuss more of these metric units in person a little bit. And kind of get a good grasp on those before we work on our conversions.